think one of the things that this administration is really going to have to solve for is something that really began on the campaign trail, Wolf, and that is that Donald Trump from the outset decided that he was going to try to drain a swamp by not being transparent. He started that with the tax returns, right? And from there, we continue to see layer after layer, person after person being compromised, potentially with his administration or having some type of ties to his administration, whether they're key advisors, allies, folks who were working on the transition team, or someone like Jeff Sessions, who was the very first senator, so probably not only a loyal, but some of us would say a ride-or-die Trump supporter. And to that end, had potential contact while he was in office in the Senate, while he was on the transition team, I'm sorry, just one second, and failed to disclose these potential meetings during his confirmation hearing. And that is what makes, I'm not finished. David, I'm just not finished. Give me 1 second. And that is what makes draining a swamp really, really challenging. There's no transparency.
But let's go to the facts. I mean, I know you have feelings. Feelings aren't facts. You lost. No, they're not facts. Let's say the facts. No, they're not.
They're disputable facts.
They're disputable.
But they're not alternative facts.
Do I get a chance to talk now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. What we know is that he had a meeting along with 30 other members, 30 other foreign dignitaries, ambassadors over that year, which when he talked to the FBI, they said, no need to put on your SF-86. We could hear about that. We know he briefly met, perhaps, not even a fact, no proof of it, briefly had an interaction at a reception after a speech. Those aren't, contacts don't equal collusion. So we're making a giant jump here.
One of the things I think David is appropriately returning to is the underlying questions about what the contacts, appropriate, inappropriate, were between Trump officials and Russia at various points. The difficulty for Sessions will be he'll face those questions. He also is going to have to answer for the president's actions, which appear to be covering up for something. Right. Whether there's anything to cover up for, we don't know. But his behavior with Comey and Sessions and others is raising so many questions that Sessions is going to be pressed on.
And hovering over all of this, John King, is the fact the president really hated the fact that Sessions recused himself. He saw that as a sign of weakness, and he's also sees that as opening the door for a special counsel, Robert Mueller, and you don't know where that investigation is going to wind up.
And it goes back to the issue of control. The president comes out of an environment, a family-run business where he was the CEO, where when he said do this, it got done. And so is it that this just frustrated him because it was so unusual to him, and he vented to his friends, and he said, why did you do this? And he's mad at Jeff Sessions. Or is it that we've lost control of this and now we can't pull the levers of this? Those are the questions, and that's where the is it just a personal frustration and reaction because it is impeding his agenda in Washington, his ability to communicate, or was it something more nefarious? Those are the big questions here. And just quickly to David's point, that if the Attorney General just didn't disclose these things and because they're stubborn and they don't believe in they have to be pushed for transparency, that's very different than nefarious meetings. And this is a chance for the Attorney General to just lay it out there.
The first time we're going to hear directly from him on all of these sensitive issues. The hearing room filling up right now. The senators arriving. You see the photographers are all there as well. They're walking in. Sessions has got a lot of questions that he'll have to answer any moment now. The Attorney General of the United States will start facing some tough questions from these senators. We'll have extensive live coverage. That's next.